Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gina and today we are going to discuss my book buying rehab. Okay, so I have an absolutely huge physical TBR. A lot of us do. Mine is beyond ridiculous. Let's look at some numbers.
Okay, so this clip isn't going to be beautiful because I'm feeding a baby and it's like 8 o'clock at night and my toddler's messing with my husband and it's probably going to be loud and a weird clip, but this is to go in probably my unread TBR videos. But I'm sitting here and going through my book spreadsheet, which isn't even complete because I have probably, I'd say 30, maybe 40 books over on my TBR cart that aren't even inputted into this spreadsheet. But let me just show you. Okay, there's my munchkin just eating. So this is my book spreadsheet. What you can't see is there's 109 books total on this list. That's what, it's not everything I own, but that's most of what I own. And I highlighted this part and I did just the not read. And the count is 538 physical books I own that are not read. Now, that includes some doubles. It includes some that aren't that are like thirds in series, and I don't have the rest of the series because I tend to thrift books and stuff like that. But 538. So I have probably, with the additional books that I haven't put on this list, I have close to 600 books I haven't read that are like physical books that I haven't read. Okay, so I also need to add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41 more books to my TBR, bring my total to this. Okay, so you would have just seen the total of 579 physical books on my TBR. That's a lot. That's a lot. I like having a huge TBR. I never want to do a TBR 0 project, but almost 600 books on my TBR probably is way too many. It's a little overwhelming for me right now. So my goal is to be at 499 books on my physical TBR by the end of the year. Now, that's sort of my goal. Anywhere from 499 to 515 is my actual goal. I would love to be under 500 on my physical TBR, but I know myself, I know I'm gonna buy books. It is what it is. Especially because I can't resist like a good thrift store book or anything like that. So I would say anywhere from 499 to 515 is where I want to be. That being said, because of that, I am making a few rules for myself. And this was very much inspired by, if you watch makeup YouTube, beauty YouTube, there is a creator, it's Steph, I think. I'll link her down below. She does a makeup rehab, and this is kind of very similar to that idea. I just stole it. I didn't tell her. She has no idea who I am. She has no idea where I am, but I am giving her credit for sure. This was definitely inspired by her. She's wonderful. I love watching her makeup rehab videos. I know other creators do her makeup rehab now, including like Alexandra Lissette and stuff like that. So again, I will link her down below. She's wonderful. If you like makeup, it would not be a bad idea to go and check out her channel as well. So my book buying band rehab rules are, oh, that's my newborn. 1, I can buy any book I want if I have already read it. So I have a full list on Amazon of books that I want to acquire that I have already read. So these are library books, ebooks, Kindle books that I've already read, that I've loved, that I want in my personal library. Okay, so this is editing Gina. I lost a clip somewhere in here, but I am talking about rule number 2 is I can go 5 times to a thrift store, a bookstore, somewhere, buy online, any of that. 5 like full trips to throughout the year that will cause no punishment. So I don't have to do anything. I can just have these trips. There's like library sales and stuff I'd like to go to. So yeah. Thanks. As long as I'm getting books for cheap, that's fine. I can do that. Okay, so and gifts are not going to count towards me. So like if I'm given a gift, my husband sometimes buys me books, my mother-in-law, those things aren't going to count. They're going to count my TBR number, but they're not going to count towards punishments for myself. Now, let's get into punishments. If I buy outside of these rules that I have for myself, I have to unhaul whatever number of books I brought in. So I'm not great at unhauling books that I haven't read. I'm great at unhauling books I've read because if I didn't like them, I can get rid of them. I don't want them in my library. I'm not going to recommend them. I'm not going to give them to my friends and family to read. However, if I haven't read them, then the potential of that story keeps me from unhauling that book. So let's say I buy myself a new book and I only have had 3 books read off of my physical TBR. I have to unhaul something to bring that book in. If I go on a book outlet spree and I've already used all 5 of my binge, so book outlet, thrift store, at all 5 of my free shopping trips, I have to unhaul whatever number I have ordered. Usually it's about 13. So if I have to unhaul 13 books from my physical TBR in order to keep it even. So that's kind of the punishment because we want to keep the number as even as possible. Yeah. And if I grab more than 4 library books in a month, then I don't know if I want to punish myself for that one. I'm gonna say 1 unhaul for every 3 I'm over. So like if I get 7 books for the month, then I have to unhaul a book. So every 3 that I'm over, I have library book borrow that I'm over, I have to unhaul a book because I don't always read my library finds. Sometimes I'll borrow them and then give them back and have not read them at all. Haven't even really looked at them. So I'd say every 3 I have to unhaul a book. And that does not include Hoopla though. Hoopla or Libby or any of that because I use that for audiobooks. So sometimes I'll get the audiobook from my library and read my physical copy of it because I have the actual physical copy. So those do not count. Also I have an audiobook goal. So it's important that I use my Hoopla and stuff like that. This is like 4 physical books from the library that I check out. Because if if I want an audiobook, then I'm in a very different mood or in a very different place or doing something very different like cooking dinner or making lunch for my kiddos or something like that. That is very different than when I can physically read. And physically reading, I want to read my physical TBR. So yeah. Those are the rules of my book buying rehab. The number we are starting out with is 579 books. And we'll see how long we can get that number. I read 118 books last year. But I know not all of those were physical. I've already read 1 physical book off my TBR already. But I've also read a Kindle book and I'm finishing an audiobook. So I tend to do a mix of them. My goal is at least 5 physical books a month, but it's gonna need to be more than that to get all the way down to 515. But if I don't get it down to 515 and if I don't make that goal, it's fine. I'll make it, but I want to get at least 5 physical books off my TBR every single month without fail. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe if you want to continue on this rehab journey with me. If you're also a book collector, leave me down below what your TBR is or what your TBR goals maybe are for this new year. And thank you so much for coming. I hope this was a relaxing time for you and you got to just chill out. I'm so happy that you're here, and I will see you later. Bye.